In the early 1800s, in a small village in Bohemia, now part of the Czech Republic, a boy named John Neumann was born. From the time he was young, John loved learning and wanted to serve God. He studied very hard and dreamed of becoming a priest. But when the day finally came for him to be ordained, something unexpected happened. There were too many priests in his homeland. Because of this, John could not be ordained there. Many people would have given up, but John believed God had another plan. Across the ocean, in the young country of the United States, thousands of immigrants were arriving. Many of them had no priests to guide them or celebrate Mass. For them, hearing about this need, John courageously sailed across the Atlantic to help. He arrived in New York City in 1836 with almost nothing, no money, no home, and few friends. Yet his heart was full of faith soon after arriving. He was ordained a priest and sent to serve poor immigrant communities in the countryside farther. John traveled through forests, mud, and snow to visit his parishioners. Sometimes he rode a horse, but often he walked miles just to bring the sacraments to families who had not seen a priest for months. He learned many languages so he could speak to immigrants from different countries later. He joined the missionary order called the Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer, also known as the Redemptorists. They were dedicated to preaching the gospel to the poor and forgotten years past, and John's kindness, wisdom, and tireless work became well known in 1852. He was appointed Bishop of Philadelphia as bishop. John saw a big problem. Many Catholic children had no schools where they could learn both faith and knowledge. So he began building schools everywhere he could. He worked with religious sisters and priests, encouraging them to teach and serve the children because of his efforts. The Catholic school system in America grew quickly. Thousands of children were able to learn about God while receiving a good education. Even though he was a bishop, John lived simply. He wore plain clothes, ate modest meals, and spent long hours serving others. People often saw him walking the streets alone, visiting the sick, helping the poor, and encouraging struggling families. One cold day in 1860, while walking through the streets of Philadelphia to run an errand, Bishop John suddenly collapsed and died. He was only 48 years old, but his work did not end there. Years later, the church recognized the holiness of his life. In 1977, he was declared a saint by Pope Paul VI, becoming the first male saint from the United States. Today, John Neumann is remembered as a humble missionary who crossed oceans, walked countless miles, and built schools so that children could know both faith and learning. And his life reminds us that sometimes the greatest heroes are not the loudest or strongest, but the ones who quietly serve God and others with love.